It's currently just past 6 a.m. For the past 2 months, I feel like I've established this really strong morning routine. It has absolutely been changing my life. So I felt like it would be nice to share it with you guys. So something about me is that I love self-help books. So when I was looking for a new book to read, I ended up stumbling across a book called The Miracle Morning. I started listening to it via audiobook, and since I got it, I've just been trying to implement everything that I've been listening, and suddenly I'm a morning person now. Just to preface, I feel like this morning routine is gonna come across as very corny and unrealistic, but I can promise you, I do it every single day. And apparently there's a whole community of miracle morning practitioners. There's a Facebook group and everything. So if you're wanting to change your morning, I recommend reading the book. So there's a bunch of things on this list to complete. This is the Miracle Morning app, and you can do them for however long you want or in whatever order you want. But for me personally, I like to start with journaling. On this list, it's scribing. I feel like right now I'm in a very big self-discovery aspect of my life. I started going to therapy for the very first time ever in my life, just in the past couple weeks, and journaling has been really good for me. My therapist has given me some nice journal prompts to go through so we can talk about them together. Before I started seeing my therapist, I kind of would just journal about the previous day, kind of talking about all the things that I loved about it, the things that I'm grateful for, keeping things very introspective but in a positive way. Now that I finished journaling, it's time to check it off the list. Oh, it usually makes a song. Okay, never mind. For me so far, this is day 20 out of 30 doing it in a row. I've been doing it for a long time, but I skipped a couple days in the beginning. So for this next bit, especially when it's sunny outside, I like to just move the chair so it feels like I'm doing like a different activity. It's also really nice when the sun starts to come out a bit more. And then the 3 points that I like to do here are called affirmations, visualizations, and silence. So for me, I like to do affirmations first. They are goal-oriented affirmations that I specifically have inputted into this template. I'll take some time to say them out loud, then I'll move into silence, and then I'll move into visualization. Something that I think has been really helpful for me in this morning routine specifically is habit stacking. This is a concept that I first became familiar with when I read the book Atomic Habits. And basically it means that if you have various habits that you want throughout the day, to stack them. And the way that you would do that is kind of leaving little things in certain places that would encourage you to keep doing the next habit. For example, I leave my yoga mat right behind the chair, so it makes it just super easy for me to want to do my mobility exercises after that. And then following that, I do some Japanese studies and I come over here where my book is already waiting for me. I think as humans, sometimes we don't realize the barrier to entry. It doesn't need to be that big for us to be discouraged. So all the little things that you can do for yourself to make habits a bit more appealing is actually something that's super helpful. I feel like my morning really just like sets the tone for the day. But it's funny because sometimes I'll call my family while I'm getting ready and then it's just like chaos. Don't get me wrong, I love my family so much, but literally just the other day I was having a nice morning, everything was chill, and then I called my family and my brother's like, I got my identity stolen and I can't get a credit card. Recently, because he's an adult now, I had suggested, oh, maybe you should get a credit card. You can try the whole travel hacking thing. Well, he tried to, and then he got denied because his identity was stolen. It's kind of crazy though, because big companies get breached all the time and they just take forever to report about it. Like I heard Bank of America had a breach and then they literally didn't tell anybody for months. And last year too, Citibank and JP Morgan Chase also had breaches. Scary stuff, me. I feel like some of this stuff is like a prime example of it couldn't be me until it happens to you. Very thankful it hasn't happened to me, but I also have this app that it searches for your social security number and your phone number and all that kind of fun stuff on the dark web. And then it'll just like send me an alert if it pops up. So far I'm clean. The app is called Aura, who is the sponsor of today's video. And basically if I end up being a victim of identity theft, I'm covered up to $5 million, which is great. I'm so grateful it hasn't happened to me yet, but it's literally happened twice to my brother. Poor dude. They also have a bunch of other online safety features, which is also very convenient. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, they have a 14-day free trial, which is just long enough to see if your stuff is on the dark web. If you'd like to support me in this channel, you can use the link aura.com/wanderlustalley and it lets them know that I sent you. You can try Aura and be protected along the way. Cheers. It's good lemon water. In Japan, the trash situation is quite the ordeal, or at least if you just compare it to the United States. You separate things into combustible garbage, recyclables, non-combustible garbage, and plastic PET bottles. And there's specific pickup days for all of these items. I feel like every day I'm at least bringing down something. Typically, this is the last thing in my morning routine before I leave for the day. However, today I'm a little behind schedule filming. So I just quickly ran down and dropped all my stuff off. If you guys are new here, I am currently also in the midst of training for a triathlon. I've never actually like swam in my life, so I'm in the process of learning. I haven't ran in ages. I do like biking, but it's been a long time since I've done it. Anyway, I feel like since being in Japan, I've been quite unmotivated to like make meals, or I just like haven't been inspired. I feel like when I'm home, I have a very clear picture of the foods that I like to eat on a regular basis. However, in most Japanese kitchens, there's no ovens. And also my unit didn't come with a blender, and I just don't really want to buy a blender. I like smoothies. I ended up typing into ChatGPT, please make me a meal plan. I'm training for a triathlon and I'm in Japan and I want easy, yummy recipes. And it gave me a whole slew. It was honestly so convenient. I feel like even in past times when I've been in Japan, I just have not really made the intention to buy Japanese ingredients. I very much was just making like Western meals. But this time around, I am trying to get a little bit more adventurous. This is one of the meals that I've been making. I meal prepped a bunch of rice, and then I just added in some eggs, some spinach, and some green onions with soy sauce. You know, I never even really used to eat in the morning. I feel like in different conditions, I do quite fine with like intermittent fasting. But I feel like since being here, I have just found that I'm way more productive when I go to cafes, and I want to make sure I'm full before I go so I don't spend as much money. So typically this whole sequence of events takes me about 2 hours, which means by about 8 a.m. I'm ready to just start the day. And although I am like a travel YouTuber, pretty much every single day starts like this, and then includes a lot of like editing and back-end work and stuff. I think in this season, something I'm just learning about myself is that I really do enjoy routine and stability. Like I like having a home base. When I first fell in love with traveling, it was in Japan. At the time I had a quote unquote 9 to 5 and a 5-day work week, and on my weekends, I made that a priority to travel. I think because I enjoy travel, I always thought I would enjoy like a pure digital nomad life, but I do feel like having a base and some form of support is super healthy. And then that means I get to start off my day like this. I feel like I've kind of determined my next mission. I grew up close to Los Angeles, and being here has definitely reminded me that I enjoy being close to big cities, specifically walkable ones. There's just so much to do, but it's also super accessible for traveling purposes. I do love Japan, but I'm not quite sure about making it my home base permanently, but I'd love to know your thoughts. In the season after I leave Japan, I may test out some more locations and just see what feels right for me, but until then, I'll see you guys next time.